Hello and welcome to another first Descendant video, another gun build. So because I built a couple of guns recently, I thought, okay, why not build the Naziestra's Devotion, because this is something I've always wanted to build. I've been using this for a long time, never completely built it, and was still doing a good job. So what we have here is a very good hand cannon, which can be used in boss fights and things like that. So let's quickly have a look at the spec sheets, then we'll go into the build. So what we have is a base firearm attack of 38,000, fire rate is 150, rounds per magazine 8, reload time 1.5, critical hit rate very good at 45%, critical hit damage is also decent at 2.25 times, and status trigger rate is also good at 16.67%, weak point is not bad, 1.7 times, and the hip fire accuracy and aim shot accuracy is excellent, both of them in the 90s. Now compare this to the Perforator over here. Perforator has a higher base damage, slower fire rate, 6 bullets compared to Naziestra's 8. Reload time is about the same. Critical hit rate is only 20 on this one. That thing has 45. Critical hit rate is 2. That has 2.25. This has more critical status trigger rate at 20. That one has 16.67. And weak point is higher on this, 2.25. Over there it's 1.7. So very similar. Hip fire is not great on this, but more or less very similar guns overall. Now the thing with this one is the unique ability, and what it does is when you hit an enemy's weak point, it inflicts a devotion mark. So what devotion mark does is for 3 seconds it reduces the defense by 30% on the enemy. So let's switch to the right gun. Now when I'll hit this Vulgus, these are Order of Truth Vulgus level 100, and if I shoot the weak point, you'll notice it'll say token of devotion right where you have the lock symbol. You'll see that status effect, token of devotion. So for 3 seconds you can do more damage and you can weaken their defenses. Their defenses are weak and you can keep shooting and get more damage. So you have to focus on the weak point to take advantage of this unique ability. Now, so keeping that in mind, I have a build here that is pretty good in my opinion for the purpose, and you can swap out 1 or 2 mods based on your preference. So once again, we start off first with our usual firearm attack, action reaction, and rifling reinforcement to increase the firearm attack. Then we have better concentration and concentration priority to increase our critical hit damage. We have decent hit damage, so we are going to take advantage of that. Next we have better insight to increase our critical hit rate. This was also good, but we'll increase it a little more because we'll get benefits out of that. Then I have a couple of mods to increase the ammo and 2 mods for the weak point damage. So weak point expansion and weak point sight. And then finally we have fire rate concentration. This gives us 20% fire rate and another 4% critical hit damage. Now having a look at the roles here, what we have is firearm attack over here, firearm critical hit damage, weak point damage, again taking advantage of weak point strengths, and bonus firearm attack versus Colossus. So if you're going to use it against Colossus, you can get this role. Again, with these things, it takes a lot of fine adjustment access. So if I get something that is like, I pick 2 or 3 options, and if I get any of those, I tend to stick with it because I'm done spending thousands of fine adjustment access to try and get the perfect rolls. This is good enough. I think this is perfect for this gun. Now going back to the build, if you look over here, what we have ended up is 14 bullets in the magazine with our 2 mods here. Default is 8. Fire rate is 187, default is 150. Now this is something you can swap out because compared to the Perforator, which has a base of 100, this has 150 at default. So even with a mod on the Perforator, we are getting 133 or something. This one is already better than that. So you can skip this if you want. Pick something else. Critical hit rate is 60%. Firearm critical hit damage is 4.225 times. Weak point is 4.675 times. Again, you can squeeze in 1 or 2 mods, for example. Weak point would be a weak beer, I suppose. weak point aiming, for example, we don't really need accuracy, but we can use the 2% weak point damage instead of fire rate. We can use fixed shot. This will reduce the recoil. Consume magazine, so this will give us reload time modifier. You reload faster and get a little bit of damage because we have used the 2 weak point mods and we have the weak point on the rolls as well, so you won't really have much else to add here. We can't put this one because I think we can. Weak point strike. Yeah, I think we might be able to add this one. So yeah, you could add something like this if you want more weak point and get it to maybe like close to 5. But yeah, critical hit rate, you can increase it as much as you like. Hit rate, I think at 60 is good. You can get it a little higher if you want. But yeah, that is basically what you're going for with the build. And yeah, overall, this is pretty good. It's very close to the Perforator, but both of them have slight differences in the unique ability. This one has more crit damage. That one has more base weak point damage. This has better accuracy and things like that. So yeah, both are very similar in my opinion, but both are very fun. They sound really good as well. And yeah, if you see here, fire rate, it's pretty good. You do good damage, aim for the weak point, and yeah. So 1 or 2 suggestions that I could say is, if you don't really want, because that one, after the mods, I managed to get it up to 11 bullets. This one has 14, so you can remove this. You'll be down to the same number, and you can maybe get a something like reload sight in, or you could get reload expert in, whichever you prefer. And yeah, so you'll have a faster reload, maybe fewer bullets but faster reload, so it'll balance it out probably. So yeah, whichever you prefer. And yeah, this option, fire rate, you can pick something else as well. You could simply put the toxic mod here because our attribute is pretty good here, 16.67%. so yeah, up to you, whichever you want to use here. Fire rate just seems good overall because I'm getting a little more, speed, I guess. And a reload isn't bothering me as such, so I'll go with the extra ammo. So this is my preferred build. I'm okay with this. Most cases, this will be like a backup gun if you are going to like a Colossus fight. You have your Enduring Legacy, you have one of your snipers, and in third slot, I would put something like this. So we have 3 different ammo types, and all of them hit hard and do a lot of damage to the Colossus. So between these two, Perforator and Naziestra, I would say I want Naziestra is better simply because you can see what you're shooting. This is the Perforator. At least with the Naziestras, you can see what it is, and it's also a little faster to shoot. So that is my preference. Pick either of those. Both are very close in my opinion in terms of performance, down to your preference. Anyway, that's it for the build. Here's the build again. I'm very happy with this, really nice gun. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'm almost completely out of catalyst now, so I'll spend the next few days farming up some catalyst and having a stock of them ready. I do want to work on a few more guns. I'm enjoying the process. Maybe Greg's may be one of the snipers because I don't usually play snipers, so I haven't done much with the snipers. Also, if anybody knows, I've been having an issue for the last couple of days with the game. Basically, all my menu settings keep getting reset. So, for example, here you notice like every time I come back here, I've normally sorted this by enhance, but when I pop back in, it goes by new again. Every time I go to enhance, it shows me the highlights like the tutorial tips. Every time I start the game, my graphic settings are reset. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Even my junk settings, they are not working. So if I press shift, nothing happens. If I go into the exclude filter, select ultimate, higher, exclude anything that is ultimate, press here, press again, nothing happens. So I don't know if anybody's had this issue. Let me know if you know a solution to this. But yeah, I don't know what happened. It's just been happening like this since yesterday. But anyway, very happy overall with the gun. Solid hand cannon, probably the best overall. And yeah, let me know what you think, what your builds are. Do you use the gun or do you just prefer the assault rifles? Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.